Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Techno, and it's been a very long time since I have actually recorded and uploaded anything to my channel. So I'm really excited to be uploading again. Basically, what happened was I just kind of lost a lot of time with school and just League play in general, and I just felt uploading wasn't too necessary for me, so I just kind of stopped uploading after a while. Um, so let me just kind of give some background. So this is for my IBL off-season draft analysis. We have just finished season two. Now, for those of you who are curious how season two actually went for me, basically I managed to go 10-2, 10 wins, 2 losses, which was very impressive for me. I secured the best league record for the IBL overall, which was very, very satisfactory for me. I'm very proud of the fact that I was able to do that. But also, I was able to make the finals, and I fought against the other 10-2 team, coached by Chime, and I lost. I lost 1-0. It's a really good game, and I lost to a Resto Chester Rotom Wash, which was it was just so annoying for me. But it is what it is, and we're coming back stronger than ever. And well, I wouldn't say stronger than ever, but I'm really excited for this. And the reason I'm really excited for this is because first of all, we all have team names now. I've always had this team name, but none of us used them before, so I'm really happy to have this team name now. So when I'm making my videos, I can put those into the videos. Second of all, for this is the off season, which means it's laid back, and this is the first Gen 7 league I'm going to be competing in, which is super exciting for me. Now, I'm going to be competing in 2 other Gen 7 leagues. One of them being the CPC off season, which I'm very excited for, and the NBA season 9, I believe, which of course NBA holds a very special place in my heart. Very excited for that as well. Um, and so basically, this was kind of a thing to see how we were going to be. Okay, basically, this determines the draft order for season 3 of the IBL, which is pretty exciting for me. But basically, this is before Pokebank, so which, if you guys don't know, Pokebank is what allows you to bring stuff from previous generations into your new games. And Pokebank has not been updated yet, so this is just Alolan Dex and nothing else. So if a Pokemon is not in the Alolan Dex, it cannot be drafted. There were some exceptions, such as Solgaleo, Lunala, and Zygarde Power Construct, because we all decided those were a little bit broken and should not have been allowed. Marshadow also wasn't allowed since it's not really released. Magirno was because it was released by the time that week 1 actually started. It was actually like released on the exact same day, which is pretty cool. But sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but we were able to get the 5th spot in the draft. And basically, as I was going through plans, my original plan was like Necrozma, Beware, Scarm, Bliss. It was really ugly and fat, and I liked it, but I just didn't want to go with it. Then I made another plan. It was around Tapu Lele, Lycanroc, and Gigalith, and I was using that plan. I got to like top 10 on the Gen 7 ladder, which was like, I was like, okay, I'm going with this since I know how to use it. I really like it. And then like second pick, Tapu Lele gets sniped. Now, of course, I don't blame Tone who took it, because Tapu Lele, if you guys don't know, it's probably one of the best Pokemon out there right now. Psychic Stab actually just nukes everything because of Psychic Terrain, and it's just a massive special attack stat of 130. Moonblast is also super nice, and the coverage it gets is incredible. And Tone is going to be a huge threat with that Pokemon alone, if I can say so myself. But yeah. So I was kind of bummed Tapu Lele got sniped, and then so I was gonna go with the Necrozma plan, but I'm like, whatever. It's probably gonna get sniped anyways, which it did. So I didn't get Necrozma. So I actually decided that I was just like kind of balls to the wall, because I was actually at a track meet when this was happening. So I didn't like have time to be at the draft for the original part or to make a new team. So this was really just kind of like going with everything that happened. So my first pick that I picked up as the fifth pick of the draft was Fairmosa. I have no clue how this made it to pick 5. Whoop, I have no. Yep, actually, I do have a clue what that was, but I'm not going to mention it. Pick 5 and our first pick of the draft was Fairmosa. Fairmosa, look at those stats. It's absolutely incredible. So it's got more speed than anything like viable. Like of course Ninjask has more speed than it. I'm not sure if Electrode has more speed than it. It might, not sure though. But it has so much speed. It outspeeds the likes of Mega Alakazam and Mega Aerodactyl, which is like it has no effect on this league because no megas are allowed. But just thought I'd throw that out there. Yeah, insane speed. It's super fast as a U-turner. It's a great mixed attacker because look at those attacking stats. Now, of course, it'll die if you flick it. That's just kind of what Fairmosa is. But it's super hard to switch into. The only things you really switch into with it are poison types. And poison isn't necessarily the best defensive type. One of the poison types I can think of that like can actually be defensive is like Alolan Muck and Golbat, and I've got Stuffed Plant and Golbat's in my division, but Alolan Muck is actually out of my division. So spoilers, I didn't pick up either of those. So sorry about that if you guys actually like cared about that, but so I didn't pick up either of those, but yeah, Fairmosa is an absolutely incredible Pokemon. Beast Boost just makes it even more broken than it already is. So, like, you can, like, Scarf it and then give it Adamant Max Attack. And every time you get a kill, if you make sure your attack is more than your speed, you get an attack boost instead of the speed boost, which is nuts. You kill something, you get a speed boost, you outspeed Scarfers. And you even outspeed most Scarfers already. Like, for example, Scarf Xurkitree, which is a pretty big threat. Not really huge, but it's a pretty big threat. Scarf Xurkitree does not outspeed this. Modest Scarf Tapu Lele does not outspeed Max Speed Fairmosa. Max Speed Fairmosa is absolutely incredible. Just no, not even just Max Speed Fairmosa. Fairmosa is just an incredible Pokemon overall, and I'm really happy I got it. Now, at this point, Fairmosa, I hate to say it, Fairmosa and one other pick were probably the only two incredible picks of this draft. Everything else was pretty average, but Fairmosa just kind of like can make up for a lot of that. So our next pick, I was thinking Celesteela or Skarmory, since of course they're the two bulky steals that I'm familiar with. Celesteela is actually disgusting, and Skarmory is actually also almost as disgusting. I say Celesteela. It's much worse than Skarmory, but they both got sniped, so I didn't feel like looking around. So I had Incog tell me what steel types were around. The first thing he said was Scizor, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll just pick that up. So Scizor is a cool Pokemon. Now, first of all, I'm gonna mention this. It says Defog in Roost right there. It does not get Defog. I thought it got Defog before, but it actually doesn't because of the fact that this is Alola, and you can't get Defog in Alola without Pokebank, which is unfortunate, but you know what? Whatever. This thing is super hard hitting. Look at that attack stat, 130. Not to mention, this thing has only one weakness to fire, which makes it really nice defensively. Plus Roost and, like I thought, Defog, which would have been nice. Bug and Steel Stab is very nice, especially with a fighting type coverage and superpower, which this thing gets. I'm actually not sure if it gets it in Alola. I'm going to be checking before my matches. But this thing is a very, very good offensive threat, even a defensive threat, and can wall stuff if I really needed to. And it got stuff like SD, which makes its bullet punches with Technician even more powerful. Not to mention it gets Baton Pass, and I'm not gonna talk too much about this, but it gets Technician plus Hidden Power, which is very nice in the format. I'm probably going to be using that quite a bit because Technician and Hidden Power is very, very solid, if you ask me, because of the just overwhelming amount of 4x weaknesses that you see on teams, and it's just nice to have Technician Hidden Power. Although its special attack is very lackluster, it doesn't get Natural Gift, because, of course, Alola. So, sorry, yeah, so it doesn't get Natural Gift, but it's a pretty cool Pokemon. Very nice tools. Of course, its speed is a little bit low, but you know what? It's whatever. Speed doesn't really matter for this because you're gonna see the rest of my team has plenty of speed. But first of all, let's talk about the fastest thing on my team, which is Slowking. Now, Slowking, I wanted Slowbro, but of course, Rogue decided to snipe it from me because he is the British bastard that he is, and you know, it didn't work. It didn't work out like I wanted it to whatsoever. But you know what? Slowking is still pretty good. It still has the right tools with Regenerator and massive special defense and nice defense. Nice bulk overall. A really cool Pokemon. Access to Thunder Wave and Scald, so you just get super good statuses off. Of course, Scald and Thunder Wave both got nerfed severely this generation, but it's not too big of a deal. Trick Room is an option. I'm not going to be running Trick Room probably ever, but Trick Room is definitely an option. If I want to set up with just this Slowking, that's an option. Regenerator is one of the best abilities in the game for a bulky Pokemon. Of course, we see this through stuff like Torrentee, which is bulky in the OU tier because of its ability Regenerator, and stuff like Toxapex, which is just an overall nuisance in the OU tier at the moment. And when I say Torrentee, I meant in the ORAS OU tier, not now. And Toxapex is like the prime example right now. Reliable recovery with Recover, and this thing it's an I can't speak. Anyways, it's a response to the poison types that Fairmosa struggles with, which is very nice. I like having responses to poison types because, of course, there's stuff like Toxapex in my division and Golbat and all sorts of stuff like that. I'll be checking after. Tentacruel is also in my division, so lots of threatening poison types that I'm pretty scared of. So I'm glad to have this Slowking around along with Scizor. It's a pretty nice core, but of course it can get better, so I gotta kind of work on that as I go on. So now let's go on to my next pick. So with Fairmosa, I was thinking I'm going to want a fast U-turner because without a fast U-turner, I mean, sometimes words just fail me because I meant to say Volt Switch and I don't know why I didn't, but anyways, a fast Volt Switcher so I can get that Volt Turn core because Volt Turn is incredible in the League format. So I decided I'm going to pick up Alolan Raichu. Now, Alolan Raichu is incredibly slept on. This thing has insanely good coverage with great stabs, like very good stabs, and not to mention very good speed. Plus priority and extreme speed. I'm actually not sure if it gets extreme speed, but when I was checking, apparently it got extreme speed. If any of you know if it gets it, then you can leave the comments down below, or leave it in the comments down below. But let's be real, who's actually going to be watching this video? But yeah, so extreme speed is a possibility for this thing. This thing is just a great Pokemon. Yeah, I love this thing. Very slept on. People think it's bad, but another thing about this thing is it gets a Z move, which makes it so it guaranteed paralyzes the opponent, which is actually incredible for it because, like, if I want to paralyze something for my Scizor, bam, I just click start Stokes. Sometimes, yeah, I can't talk. I just click Spark Surfer, Stoke Spark Surfer. Yes, that is what it's called. And I just kind of get off a para, and I just nuke something in the process as well, which is very cool. Very, very cool. Alolan Raichu is just a very neat Pokemon. Really excited to be using it. Probably one of the more excited Pokemon I am to be using. Alright, so next pick, I decided that I'm going to want something that can just hit super hard and is fast enough to like outspeed certain threats. Not to mention a spin blocker would be nice. Well, not a spin blocker because you're gonna see spoilers, I actually have no hazards on my team, which is a little bit spooky, but to be fair, a lot of people don't have hazards on their team because, of course, it's not easy to get hazards because stuff like Garchomp and Chansey and Clefable, which usually got hazards, they don't get it anymore, or they won't get it until Pokebank, and we can't get it now. But my next pick, I decided, is going to be Gengar. Now, despite the significant nerf in its ability, Gengar is still a very good Pokemon. It still has that 130 base special attack and 110 speed with absolutely incredible coverage. Now, when people think of Gengar, they think, oh, what a pursuit weak Pokemon. Now, the only significant pursuit trapper I can think of is Weavile in my division, and like nothing else. Like I'm actually gonna look at it later, but yeah, that's what I'm really thinking of. And this thing is just a massive threat. It's a nice Scarfer if you kind of just like let it like. Okay, what I'm trying to say is it can be a Scarfer if you make sure that it can outspeed a certain threat like at +1 if there's like a Dragon Dance Pokemon or even a Rock Polished like slower Pokemon. That could be pretty cool. Synergizes pretty well with the Bug Spam because of course poison types don't resist it, not to mention steel types don't resist it. That's another thing. Plus fairy types are now going to be super weak to its poison attacks. It doesn't get Sludge Wave, but it gets Sludge Bomb, which is good enough. And there's plenty of very cool options. As you can see on the right, we have stuff like Willow, Sub, Disable, and Pain Split. Very great moves for this thing to have. Very nice moves to like kind of have on this thing. And this thing's just a great Pokemon. And even though there's a very significant nerf in the fact it doesn't have Levitate anymore, which would have made it so much better, it's still very solid, very, very decent, very adequate. So my next Pokemon, I'm thinking, okay, so I have a team with a Scizor, a Raichu, and potential Thunder on my Gengar, not to mention Bulky Water and Slowking. So, like, how do I capitalize on this? And so I picked up the Pellet God. Now, even though Pelipper was given so much crap last generation, this generation, it's so much better because, of course, it gets Drizzle now. So, Drizzle, basically, you guys should know, it makes the rain fall down. Simple. So, of course, after getting this Pokemon, you're going to think, I'm going to want something with rain, but we'll get into that later. So, this thing actually has pretty nice defense. Although it has very low HP, its defense is 100, and the stuff it walls is pretty significant. It's not going to be 2-hit KO'd by a lot of very threatening stuff, which is very nice for this Pokemon. Very nice indeed. So, now it gets boosted Scalds with the rain, and it also gets Hurricanes that hit 100% of the time, which I am pretty alright with. This is a very good Steel type response. Of course, it's not going to be responding to stuff like Magnezone, which I actually forget if that's in my division or not. Nope, definitely is because Brendan has it. Yep. So yeah, I get to play Brendan again. That's another thing. But so yeah, Magnezone is in my division, but this thing is a very good Steel type response, because of course you resist the attacks, and water moves are going to hurt like a motherfucker. But Pelipper, very cool Pokemon. Its typing can be something to be desired, but it gets access to Roost. It's an okay defensive Pokemon because, of course, in the format, you're not going to like its electric weakness. And speaking of the electric weakness, this next pick was probably my most foolish pick of the draft. Basically what I was thinking was, okay, I'm going to try to pick up Kingdra later to go with the rain for the Pelipper. And that's how I'm going to get my dragon. Now, Zygarde 10% is still around. Zygarde 10% is an alright electric resist. Of course, it's not great or anything because 4 times weakness. But speaking of 4 times weakness, we're going to get into that again. 4 times weaknesses are a pretty big thing on my team, as we're going to see. But luckily, they work pretty well with each other. They work alright. So, my next pick, now this was going into thinking, of course, Kingdra I can get later and I don't need Zygarde 10%. I decided to pick Togedemaru. Now the problem with Togedemaru is I wanted it just because I literally went to Pokemon Showdown and I typed up Lightning Rod. Alolan Marowak was gone because, of course, that's the premier Lightning Rod Pokemon, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna get Togedemaru. So I get Togedemaru, and I was going to get Rhyperior later, but that's also illegal because that's a QR code only, as well as Kingdra, which is so annoying for me. And I said it's a meme pick, but it wasn't a meme pick when I was first picking it. It was really annoying for me. But this is pretty nice for me. If I remember correctly, all the Tapus are in my division. Um, I believe Tone is in. No, wait. Is Tone in my division? I don't believe he is actually. But three of the Tapus are in my division. This is an okay response to the Tapus. But of course, there's Hidden Power Ground and Super Power from a Tapu Bulu, but of course, Tapu Fini it's an okay response to. Oh, that's a spoiler. Sorry about that, guys. But it gets nice support moves like Wish and Encore. And Wish is, of course, a very nice move in this format because you get basically just HP back to anything. I can get it back to my Scizor if it's like an SD set or something along those lines. Encore is a nice support move so that if something's trying to set up on me, it doesn't happen anymore. Simple. And this thing actually cores perfectly with Pelipper. And when I say perfectly, I don't mean like it resists everything. I mean all their weaknesses correspond with each other, because fighting which this thing is weak to, Pelipper resists. Electric, this, fire, that, and that's rock. This thing resists. Ground, Pelipper resists. Just it. I don't think it goes on, but that's all the weaknesses of the both. I probably missed something, but you know that it's not significant anymore. But yep, Togedemaru. I don't like it, but you know what? It'll be what it is. It has 98 attack and 96 speed, so I might use that to an advantage one day. But yeah, Togedemaru was average at best. So my last pick is going to be Golduck. Golduck is actually a significant threat in this meta, as I have learned from my experience on the ladder. This thing is pretty nice under rain. If you look at its stats, they're pretty balanced across the board. This thing also gets access to Calm Mind, with also access to Psychic, which hits stuff like Toxapex and Tentacruel, Ice Beam, which hits those grass types, and it's just very, very solid in the rain overall. Of course, it has Swift Swim, which makes it an okay rain sweeper, because of course you're getting off big hydro pumps. And I actually really like this thing. I'm really excited to see how this thing does, and I'm very excited to see how this does because it's an alright Pokemon and no one really likes it, and I think it'll go very nicely with Pelipper. So, and of course Togedemaru, which it also can core with, but that's going to be the draft. If we're being honest, I really don't like my team. I feel I kind of just like meme too much. I don't expect this to be a great season for me, but I'm going to try. Pelipper, Rain, it's not necessarily the best strategy in League format, as I have learned the hard way. Rain is average at best. I'm not a big fan of Rain anymore, but you know what? I just decided to go with it. Like I said, I was very preoccupied during the draft, but you know, it's whatever. I'm just gonna try my best to see how I can do with this. So I'm gonna be recording my CPC off-season draft analysis soon-ish. The only reason I say soon-ish is because I don't want to reveal it before it actually is announced, because Joey doesn't want that to happen. Joey, the commissioner, he doesn't want it to be revealed before it's announced. So I won't be uploading this until it's announced either. So I'm also going to be recording my NBA later when the draft is done. So this is the team. Yeah, it's average at best. Not the best team in the league. No rocks, bunch of 4x weaknesses, very big flaws, which I am willing to admit. But you know what? It's whatever. I'll just do my best. And you know what? At the end of the day, I'm still proud that I was able to make the finals last season. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a while. I really enjoyed recording again, and I will see you guys next time.